Hey everybody, we have an exciting video and a weekend planned ahead. So this video kind of needs a little backstory of to what actually happened and how this weekend kind of came to be. So it actually happened yesterday. Last night I was laying in bed about to go to sleep and I was on the Facebook group of the Gridlife track battle. And a gentleman known as Sam Bosnian made a little post and he was like, hey, I'm giving away a free track battle time attack ticket. And the post had been up for about 3 hours and I was thinking to myself, it's probably a long shot. The post already had like 20 comments, so I figured that, the ticket was already probably taken or, it was a troll post, but I decided to take the leap and I actually DM'd him on Facebook Messenger and I was like, hey, I'll take that ticket. And lo and behold, it was real. I've never met Sam, but we have a couple of mutual Facebook contacts and he was like, oh, do you know this guy? And I was like, oh yeah, I do. And then 15 minutes later, I had a Gridlife track battle ticket to Carolina Motorsports Park. We've been doing some work to the Audi, so it's pretty far along now. We have the 8Y RS3 spindles on, we have the two-piece rotors on with the EBC blue stuff, and the car is pretty ready to go. We have most of the aero on right now, so it actually turned out that, the car is ready. I have new tires, the Kumo V730s, great track tire. Not the fastest like the Vitor P1s, but we'll put those on for next event. So yeah, we'll be headed to Carolina Motorsports Park at like 1 a.m. so that we can make it there by 7 a.m. on Friday morning, get this thing teched, get all the decals put on it, and I never have good luck with rain. The car is wet. You can barely tell on camera, but we're gonna have to apply some decals to it in the rain at CMP, which is gonna be a pain, but I think I'll probably rope somebody into helping me with that. But the car is ready. We just have to do a quick bolt check. I want to bleed the brakes. We have some new Motul RBF 660 to go in, as well as EBC's RPX brake pads. Now, you guys are probably wondering, hey, why didn't you just put on the brake pads when you did the rotors a couple weeks ago? And the reason why is because those RPX pads are meant for the track. And we run blue stuff on the streets for hill climbs and for autocross. So we're gonna put these on. We're going to bleed the brakes. We're going to do a bolt check over everything. Now we're gonna call it a day and the car should be ready. Obviously top off the oil, but we've done all the Mark 8 PCV retrofit. This car is really ready to go, and it's amazing that this opportunity came up, a free Gridlife ticket. These weekends go for about $1,000 nowadays. So the fact that we're able to go for minimal cost, just throw some pads on, bleed the brakes, and drive down, it's not bad. We will not be trailering with the F-150. We're just going to be street driving the Audi down. So I'll get the wheels off, get this thing jacked up, and we'll do it just side by side, and we'll hopefully knock down in under an hour. All right, everybody, we still have the old brake pads out. As you can see, they still have a little bit of life left to them. So those will be perfect when we're autocrossing, doing a track cross or something that doesn't require as much heat in the brakes as a full track day. But here, we got the EBC RPX. You can see them wearing their hat, proud sponsor. But we have the wheel off, we have the caliper compressed. Now we just have to compress the caliper, put it back together, do the passenger side, bleed the brakes. Okay, so we have the RPX brake pads on the car. We did not bleed the brakes today just because I'm getting a little bit tired. We still have a 6-hour drive ahead of us. We need to get some sleep, we need to eat, we need to shower. Still need to load all the tools up into the car And then I'm thinking, because it is going to be raining Friday, tomorrow, at CMP, I'm not going to be pushing the car too hard. So I'll leave that to either when the rain dies down or just till Saturday morning when it dries up between our first session and the drivers meeting. But appreciate you guys for tuning in. We'll put some stickers on the car now. And then I'll see you guys at CMP.
pace. This morning we saw track record pace in a couple of different categories, and then we saw sort of a split difference in the second heat of the day, where it was some drivers ran faster, some drivers weren't able to get there. So I think for some that were still working up to pace, they still have the potential to go faster, but for those that have already reached it, it might not be optimal. We've also had the drift cars on track a bunch today already, but the GLTC cars did kind of clean things up a bit, so we'll see.
Yeah, absolutely. And the way that I think about this session, if you're somebody that's looking to be in podium sprint or is a perennial podium sprint competitor, this is your session to work on your marks and your car set.
Hey everybody, we made it back from Gridlife CMP with the car mainly in one piece. We did about as well as I expected to for a tuner class SCCA prepped car to do at a Gridlife event. Our best time was 147.1. And to reference the SCCA event last year, they were doing everybody was in the 146s, so the car and probably myself mainly, lacked a little bit of pace, which is a shame. I was hoping to be in the 145s this weekend, but we're going back in June. But we're over here checking over the car, changing the brake pads back out from the RPXs to the EBC blue. We had an issue at turn 5 where the rear end kept kicking out and I got too overzealous, and the rear diffuser actually ended up picking up sand and then pulling this part of the rear bumper out. It actually stopped on our tow hook there, but it also ruined some of our paint. This entire clip that holds everything on is ruined, so we just have tape there now. But other than that, it was a good weekend. I can't complain at all. I'll be back in June for the SCCA Time Trial National event out there, or the Tire Rack, Time Attack, blah, 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 whatever they call it now. I feel like the name switches every couple years either way. But again, I want to thank Sam Bosnian for the free ticket and for providing me with a crazy life experience. I'll never forget my first Gridlife event. And I also want to thank 529 Innovations for help with the car setup, and for EBC Brakes for supplying me with the rotors, the pads, all the brake stuff on the car. They even supplied the motor fluid, so everything in the weekend was pretty much free. So I can't complain, and I'll see you guys in the next video.